Hello everybody, it's Sarah and it's time again for Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesday was created by Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey, and as always I'll leave the links to her channel as well as the Goodreads group in the description box down below. This week's topic is the top 5 worst love interests. And usually I am not that upset about love interests. Maybe they are not perfect, but if I think they're boring love interests, it doesn't necessarily make them bad. And the same can be said the other way around. Just because a character is an amazing character and I love the character doesn't mean that it's a good love interest. First is from a series where I have only read the first 2 books and I can only really remember the first book, and that's Arya from the Inheritance Cycle, especially the first book, Aragon. And actually I have no idea if Aragon and Arya, if they end up together at the ending of the 4th book, because as I said I only have read the first 2 books. And I loved them when I read this book the first time round. I reread it last year sometime. And she is horrible. She is really arrogant and cold and annoying, and I don't like her at all. At all. And I don't understand how Aragon can like her. Next is a love interest that I used to really like when I first read this book, and even when I last read this book, which was like 5 years ago. But thinking about it, he really is a horrible love interest, and that's Edward Cullen from the Twilight series. I am sure I don't have to explain the issues that I might have with this character, because basically he kinda is like a stalker. Next is one of those characters that I love as a character, but where I just think that she isn't that suitable as a love interest for the main character. And that is Denna from the Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss. Denna, she seems really cool, but she always leads Quoth on, and she vanishes and then she appears again, and then he has to do stuff for her and has to help her, and he's just so infatuated with her, and at the same time she doesn't give anything back. I feel like this would be a very destructive relationship. So then is a love interest that actually stops after the first book, but I still had to put it in here because it's just so horrible. And that is Joffrey from A Game of Thrones. And right, in the first book Sansa is really infatuated with him and she loves him and she thinks it's amazing that she's going to marry him. And I really don't think that it's a spoiler that he is actually a horrible person who is a sadist. Just one of the most horrible characters that I have ever read about. Last on this list is a character that I hate more than any other character that I have ever hated. I mean, Joffrey I hate, but that's because he's a villain. This character isn't technically a villain, and yet I still hate him with a passion. And it's really frustrating because the relationship between the main character and this character has been on-off for more than 10 books already, and that is Richard from the Anita Blake series by Laurel K. Hamilton. And Richard, I hate him so much. And that is because he's a werewolf and he hates that he is a werewolf. And so he falls in love with Anita because she's human, but she still can accept him as a werewolf, and at the same time he wants to change her, and he's so... I hate him so much! So that was it for this week's Top 5 Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me, what do you think are the worst love interests that were ever written about in books, and I hope I'll see you soon. Kiss kiss!